To make the cards, you're going to need clear duct tape, scissors, markers or Sharpies, a coloring book, preferably one where you like the designs, and you're going to need to color it in the colors that you want. I'm going to use a little movie magic because each page took me like 5 hours. So you're going to take the page and you're going to fold it in half, long ways first. Then, after that, you're going to fold it the other way, half again, now I always fold it over a couple times, like back and forth, just to make sure that the edge is reinforced enough to where you can see it. And then you're going to cut those 4 squares out. Movie magic again. You're going to have 2 squares and then 4. So I had 8 pages and cut them all out into 4s. So now you're going to need something to measure with and your clear tape. I used my old tablet because it was about the right size as the cards. You're going to cut out your tape, and lay it down, sticks to your fingers, so I used a pair of scissors to take it off my fingers. You grab your card and lay it face down on the tape. Make sure to leave edges on all the sides for the tape. Now you take your other page and you lay it upright. This part is kind of hard, but if you have patience, you can get it. And pull out another piece of tape the same length. You want to start at one side, like one corner, right over top of the other piece of tape. Start at one side and smooth it down to the other side. Nice and easy. That way there's no wrinkles or air pockets. If you do it right, you'll have the tape, and you do it completely over the entire card. That way it gives a nice laminated look. Make sure you overlap the tape. That way you don't have any of the card poking through. This will make it easier to put your lettering on there. Again, make sure there's at least, I want to say, a half an inch to an inch of tape on the outside edges. That way it completely seals the cards together. This whole thing is not a quick process, but it is easy and it is also cheap. All the supplies you need you can get for $20 or less at the dollar store. Okay, so now you have all this excess tape around the edges, so just go ahead and trim them up. I left probably about a centimeter of tape on the outside. Also, if you want, I rounded off the corners because it looked nice. Now that you got that done, it looks beautiful. Do that to all your cards that you have. I did mine in many different ones. Now I use coloring book pages, but you can use scrapbook pages. Now you're going to do the lettering. You can probably print sheets out with what you want on the card and cut it out, but I have really beautiful handwriting, so I decided to do it all by hand. I used just a piece of notebook paper to measure how big I wanted the lettering and also to make it straight. I drew the lines that I needed. And then I started writing what I needed to say. It's better to do this in pencil first. That way if you have a mistake, you can just erase it rather than having to go through that whole process all over again. A little movie magic for you. Alright, all done. Now you want to take a black Sharpie or a colored one if you want and just go over and make the letters darker. more movie magic for you. When that's all done, you cut out the strips. Make sure to take your time and not rush it. Now that you got all your pieces, arrange them how you want them on your card. And then you're going to erase all the pencil marks you have. And I didn't show it, but I also trimmed down the excess pieces on the sides. Okay, so now that you got all your pieces, you're going to need your tape again. Now you want to measure it to make sure that there's a little bit of excess on all sides. You're going to lay it sticky side up and lay your strips upside down on the tape. Now I decided to cut these two strips apart from each other because I laid them on there uneven. So when I lay them down on the card, I can make them even. Grab your card. You want to match it up nice and even and lay it down nice and smooth. See, that tape all on the card comes in handy when you're doing this, because if you don't think it's even, you can just pull up that piece and it won't rip your paper or take ink off. I tried to make it as even as possible, but even the littlest, slightest mistakes almost seems kind of cute and whimsical. My long nails came in handy for pulling up that tape all the time. Sometimes the tape is a little bit bigger than the card itself. Is trim it down, but make sure to leave a little bit of extra on the outsides. I cannot stress enough how important that is. Alright, that's what mine looks like. And again, I had them in all different colors and designs. And I think it's cooler that way. Okay, so I chose to make my own envelopes, which I didn't show the measuring parts and the cutting it out because it took me so long to figure out the exact measurements. But you can just look up another YouTube video. They have tons of them. When you have your shape, you just tape the 3 corners down. It was really hard to do that with only one hand. And then you'll have your little pocket for the card to go in. So then you just slip the card in there. You always want to put the front part facing outwards so that way when they pull it out they can see what it is immediately. Now I drew and cut out little hearts with designs on them, and I just took a small piece of tape and I put the little design on the tape so that it's facing outward, and I just used it like a stamp. Tape the envelope closed. Now, I'm not mailing my invitations, I'm handing them out, so if you are mailing yours out, I recommend not making your own envelopes, to go and buy some, because I don't think that my envelopes are regulation for the postal company, so just make sure to look into that. Thanks for watching.